So something that just occurred to me recently. I mean, we're not even a month away from that thing that happened in Texas, that unprecedented winter event, and it just occurred to me between then and now that the times we're living in are these are the beginning of the transition times, and I just wanted to make a recording just to share my thoughts regarding what is probably coming within the next 9 years. If for those of you who don't know, there's been something called Agenda 21 that goes all the way back to the 90s in regards to, you know, climate, supposed purported climate change and measures to take to battle it and all this kinds of stuff, and something also called Agenda 2030 as well. And it's just kind of interesting that, within the first couple months of, 21, you've got this unprecedented um, weather event in, the southern United States. And I think we're going to keep seeing more things like this year and in the years to come, because what's happening is they're going to use, weather and supposed basically renamed cold and flu and stuff like that as a way to completely, probably within the next 9 years or so, or maybe beyond, whatever. But I think a lot of this stuff is going to change a lot within the next 5 to 9 years, 5 to 10 years, whatever. Um, Use weather that, oh, and it should also be noted, if you didn't know, that they completely control the weather. And the thing that happened in Texas was completely orchestrated by the people that run the world, run the countries, and all this and that. And if you don't know about weather modification and control, and before you just want to scoff at that and click off, you might want to listen to the rest of this and then do some research. But basically, what's going to happen within the next 5 to 10 years and possibly beyond is this big, huge push, and they're just going to do it as they've done what they showed what they've done. It's not like they need to ask us; they're just going to do it, like what they've done for the past year in regards to battling this renamed cold and flu that's been going on. And then another talking point that came up in the media last year after they closed down the world and stuff, and they're just like, the media talking heads and stuff will be just like, oh wow, look at the benefit that closing the world down did for the environment. There's less pollution, there's less waste, there's less this, there's less that. And granted, less pollution and less waste is a good thing, but who are the people who put us in this situation where there's pollution and waste to begin with? The same people that are now going to push heavily to reduce it. So I'm just trying to say that, it just occurred to me recently that after this Texas winter weather event, that and the continual quote unquote stimulus that the U.S. government is sending out, and who knows how much more they're going to be sending out checks and in an effort to destroy the dollar and devalue the dollar this year and all this stuff. It just occurred to me that we're at the beginning of the end, basically, more or less. And for anyone who doesn't know that stuff about, the Green New Deal and, Agenda 2030, and you will own nothing and you will be happy, maybe you should look into that, Klaus Schwab, all that kind of stuff. You should probably look into that as well. I think this is where we're going to be within the next 5 to 10 years. So what I was just walking around thinking about is, it's funny because a lot of people in the know, such as myself, although I haven't been talking about it, have been talking about this kind of stuff for years. But I think that none of us have actually witnessed anything necessarily on a big level that would indicate the validity, that's what I get for trying to use a big word, of those claims until last year. And I think even the biggest skeptic has to look at last year in the past, basically 11, 12 months now, and has to say, oh God, there's probably something to what the naysayers or, doomsday people have been saying for the last 5 to 10 to 15 years. Holy shit, we can see it now. So I just wanted to stop by and make an audio recording just to share my thoughts about this and really how I've been trying to, and I've done this since last year, since last March and April, how I'm really trying to prepare myself for what's probably going to come. And I don't know if it's as soon as this year in regards to like complete and total financial collapse in the United States and or world. They're printing all this money and they're going to use it as an excuse to say that's what, caused huge mass inflation and that's what destroys the dollar and we got to go to world currency. And I mean, all the chess pieces are being set up now for, something huge to fucking just fall out from under us in the future. So I guess I just wanted to stop by to simply say that what I've been doing the past year basically is really trying to just enjoy what's left as much as I can of quote unquote normality or life as it's been our whole lives as much as I can, because I don't know how much longer we're going to be allowed to actually, if we're fortunate enough to own houses or own automobiles or own things, I don't know how much longer they're going to let us actually own things. Within the next 5 to 10 years, they could say you can't own things for the good of the environment. And I think it's very possible that this weather, this freakish weather that they're controlling and causing to happen, by the way, is going to just throughout this year and the years to come just continually get worse and worse and worse. So people are just going to have to bow down and bend over once again to the wishes of the controllers. And I don't know how they're going to do it. If they're going to inflate money so much where people can't afford to own houses and cars anymore. Maybe that's what occurred to me today. Maybe that's how they're going to, drive people out of their houses, make people so they can't afford cars, so they have to go to this you will own nothing and be happy civilization, which I guess is, renting everything. You rent, take a taxi everywhere or rent a car, electric car for a week by week basis. Or I didn't look much into the plan that they have for that, you will own nothing and be happy, but that's a little bit of what I've learned. Anyway, I have to cut this audio off at this point, but I just wanted to share these thoughts because this is serious topic in really dire times. So I plan to enjoy this spring and summer, as much as humanly possible while I still can, because we have the past year has been unprecedented in the history of everyone who's currently alive right now. And we have it could be just the very beginning. And I mean, I guess I was going to say we have no idea where they're taking us. Well, I guess some of us do, but who knows how? Maybe it could be even worse than what we're aware of. So these are just things I wanted to say, get off my chest. Also, let people who watch my channel or listen to the videos, watch the videos, just put these thoughts out there, because I really think the more prepared we are for what's coming, the less of a shock it's going to be for all of us. And that's what I've been trying to do.